What's up everyone? My name is Jimmy and welcome back to KidMotion Online. We are so thrilled that you have joined us today as we continue our series called Bake Off. It's worth the wait. And this series is all about patience. And this is how we're defining patience. Waiting until later for what you want now. Seems pretty hard, right? So this month our theme revolves around baking. So how many of you have ever helped your parents or your grandparents bake something? When it comes to baking, let's just say there's a lot of patience involved. I mean, think about it. Cookies can take up to 12 minutes to bake. Think about a cake, it can take up to half an hour. What about bread? I mean, you're talking about hours of waiting for something to get out of the oven. It's pretty crazy, right? But being patient isn't just something we need when we bake. When you think about it, doesn't it feel like we're waiting on something or someone all the time? I mean, you can really think about this past year, right? The whole world has been waiting to get back to normal. In the Bible, there are so many stories and principles of what it really means to wait. And so today we see a story of two brothers named Esau and Jacob. And Esau really struggled with patience, so much so that he was willing to give up his rights as the oldest brother just for some soup. His unwillingness to be patient really cost him in the long run, which leads us to our main point. Our main point is, if you don't wait, it could cost you. All right, let's say it together one more time. I want to hear you guys get really loud. If you don't wait, it could cost you. Good job, guys. And let's not forget about our memory verse for this month. And it says this: wait for the Lord. Be strong and don't lose hope. Wait for the Lord. Psalm 27:14. Now, there are some motions that go along with this memory verse that Mr. Matt and Mr. Reggie have shown you guys the last couple of weeks. So let's go over them one more time. Ready? Okay. We're going to say, wait for the Lord. Be strong and don't lose hope. Wait for the Lord. Psalm 27:14. All right, can we do it one more time? You guys ready? All right, everyone stand up, shake it out if you haven't already. You guys ready? Here we go. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and don't lose hope. Wait for the Lord. Psalm 27:14. And I want you guys to remember this. Waiting is just a part of life. In lines or for school to let out or to take your turn on the playground or your turn on the gaming system. But some situations can be more difficult to wait for. But sometimes, if you don't, it could cost you in the long run. So, before we jump into worship, just know that we here at KidMotion are thinking about you and praying for you. If there's anything you need at all, please reach out. All right, let's jam out together.
I'm living out loud. Jesus, let my life be your story. We're singing out, yeah. You're the one I want, my life to celebrate. 'Cause you gave life to me. We're shouting, hey, living every day, living to praise your name. Jesus, let my life be your story. I'm alive to live a life that shines your light. So listen up now. I'm living out loud. Jesus, let my life be your story. Yeah, you're the one I want, my life to celebrate. 'Cause you gave life to me. We're shouting, hey, living every day, living to praise your name. Jesus, let my life be your story. Yeah, you're the one I want, my life to celebrate. 'Cause you gave life to me. We're shouting, Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Life is for living with you. I've made my decision. You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted. With you, no moment is wasted. See the sun now bursting through the clouds. Black and white turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I have found. This is living now. There's nothing like living with you. This life you created, I choose. See the sun now bursting through the clouds. Black and white turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I have found. This is living now. Clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All this new in the Savior I have found. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All this new in the Savior I have found. Oh, this is living now.
To mix together precisely 1 cup of sugar with 1/2 cup of softened butter.
Got it. 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of butter. Oh, hi there. I'm in a baking class over the internet.
What was that, Graham?
Oh, nothing. I'm doing a thing.
Can you mute yourself, please?
Yeah, sorry. My instructor is teaching us how to bake a cake from scratch. It won't take long, so you just have a little patience and I'll be right.
You should be done mixing the sugar and butter together, so let's move on.
Ah! Patience is waiting until later for what you want now.
After you've stirred in the eggs, add 2 teaspoons of vanilla.
Gotta catch up. How much vanilla did she say? Hold on a sec. Excuse me. Excuse me, what? Pardon. How much vanilla did you say?
2 teaspoons, Graham, and then you add cups of flour and milk.
What was that? I'm sorry. I missed that last part. I think you're frozen. Hello? You're frozen. Maybe I'm frozen. Maybe we're both frozen. I really don't like it when technology fails me. I'm trying to bake a cake here and you're just... And I have to wait until it unfreezes before I can make my cake. You know, sometimes we have to wait for things when we really, really don't want to. Just like in today's story. And sometimes, also like in today's story, we don't wait. I am making this cake. How much milk and flour did she say? I don't know. We'll see you soon. Oh! Yeah. Yeah.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story inspired by the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verses 24 through 34.
When Abraham's son Isaac grew up, he married a girl named Rebekah. But it didn't seem as though they'd be able to have children.
Please, God, give us children.
But God answered Isaac's prayers, and Rebekah became pregnant with twins.
Isaac, I'm pretty sure they're having a wrestling match in here.
Oh, definitely boys.
Rebekah asked God about the struggle she could feel. He told her,
2 nations are in your body. One nation will be stronger than the other. The older son will serve the younger one.
When it was time for the babies to be born, they came out fighting. Esau was born first. He came out with a strong set of lungs and a head full of red hair. His brother Jacob was born moments later, still holding on to Esau's heel.
How on earth did he manage that?
The brothers shared the same birthday, but as they grew, that was about the only thing they had in common. Esau loved to roam far out into the wilderness.
I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more.
Jacob preferred the comforts of home.
The sun is so hot. I'll just take a little nap in the tent.
Esau loved to hunt wild animals.
That is one excellent wildebeest.
Jacob preferred a different type of hunting.
Not you, not you. Ha! The perfect ripe honeydew melon.
One fine morning, Esau headed out into the wilds in search of adventure and some nice, juicy venison.
I'll feast tonight.
But Esau went all morning without spotting a single rabbit.
Ugh, should have packed a lunch.
In the afternoon, he tracked a deer for hours, but he missed his chance as the deer sprang away.
Ah!
At last, Esau headed for home, defeated. He was tired and irritated and so hungry he could eat an entire woolly mammoth.
Must eat food.
As Esau neared camp, a delicious smell wafted out to greet him.
Food!
Jacob had been home all day, resting and plucking his favorite herbs from his garden.
A little coriander, some dill.
As evening approached, Jacob used his savory herbs to whip up a tasty red lentil stew and a batch of fresh, buttery bread.
This will crisp up nicely on the hot stones.
By the time Esau had arrived in camp, Jacob's stew was simmered to perfection, and the bread was hot and crusty.
Food! Food!
Esau lunged for the stew cauldron, ready to grab a bowl, but Jacob blocked his path.
Not so fast.
Step aside, I'm hungry.
Clearly.
Just let me have some of that red stew.
Certainly.
Esau tried to dive for the stew pot again.
Just one itty-bitty thing.
What?
Well, first, give me the rights that belong to you as the oldest son.
Esau spent more time listening to his stomach than his brain. So in that moment, his stomach won out.
Look, I'm dying of hunger. If I die, those rights are pointless anyway. Now give me that stew.
Esau sprang forward once more.
Promise to give me your rights.
Fine.
Fine what?
Fine, I promise.
Promise what?
I promise to give you my rights as the oldest.
Cool. Help yourself.
Jacob stepped aside as Esau hurled himself at the stew pot.
Stew!
Esau happily gorged himself on rich stew and fresh bread. But as his stomach filled up, he had time to stop and think again. Esau had just traded the rights of a lifetime for a meal that would only last him a few hours.
Let me give you a little advice. Don't bake angry. Instead of making a cake, you end up making a mess. That's what happens when you lose patience. You make choices you normally wouldn't make and it ends up costing you. Losing patience ended up costing Esau his birthright. His brother Jacob ended up being in the family line of Jesus, so who knows what all Esau missed out on by being impatient. When we don't learn to have patience, we get frustrated easier. With ourselves, with others, with technology. There's really nothing good that can come from being impatient. So think about that when you're waiting for your turn on a video game, or when you're waiting to say something while someone else is talking, or when you're waiting for the internet to hurry up and start working again. Having patience is better than losing it. Slow down. Or you could hurt yourself or someone else. Or you could end up covered in cake batter. Here's the one thing to remember today. If you don't wait, it could cost you. If you need help waiting, ask someone you trust to come alongside you and see.
Are you there?
Oh. You're not frozen anymore. I lost you there for a minute.
Technical difficulties. I see. How's your cake?
I think I'm gonna need another lesson.
Very well. Same time next week?
Sure, I can wait. I may have the place cleaned up by then.
Pardon?
Nothing, it's a thing. I'll see you next time. So, how much flour was I supposed to use?
2 cups. How much did you use?
All of it.
No, that was wrong.
Okay.